Welcome to Thank God It's Monday. I'm your host, Eric Twiggs. Joining me is Ted Fells, and we are the Digital Dudes. And today I want to talk to you about how to cancel your pity party. How to cancel your pity party. And Ted, this topic came to mind just based off of a day. I had one of those Mondays that was interesting. And I was talking to these different business owners, entrepreneurs, and they all were saying a lot of these same things. It was like, Eric, I would be doing better, but I lost that major account, and it's just never been the same. So that was like one call I had. Then I'd get off and I'd get on another virtual meeting with someone else, and they would start telling me about how the father was never in their life, and I would be doing better, but I just didn't have that male example in my life, and I think that's just held me back and kept me from really being who I could be. And then I'd get off of that Zoom, and I get on another phone call, and it's like, oh, Twigs, you just don't understand. I would be doing better, but this local economy, I mean, it's just crazy. People don't have money. All these gas prices are just sky high. Now people don't know what's going on with the election. And it really got me thinking that it's time to cancel the pity party. And if you really embrace this one idea I'm going to give you, because there's one idea, if you implement this one idea and really think about this one idea, and you take this one idea, write it down, and put it in front of you all the time, that'll go a long way to canceling your pity party. And then you'll say, thank God it's Monday, right? So here's the one idea. You really want to take notes. Are you ready? If you want to cancel your pity party, just remember, there's always someone who's had it worse than you, but they're doing better. There's always someone who's had it worse than you, but they're doing better. There's someone out there who's lost a major account. Matter of fact, they've lost a bigger account. You lost $1 million account. They lost a $2 million account. And they're doing much better now because they learned a lesson. They learned not to put all their eggs in that one basket, and they learned to get other accounts, right? There's someone else who had bad parenting or an example of what not to do, and they've made it their mission to be better. And as a result, their business and their lives are better. There's someone else who's in a worse off economy than you. People are making less money. The election is a bigger factor. People are more political in their area, and they're still doing better. If you can really get your mind around that and embrace that reality, you'll be in a better position to say, thank God it's Monday, because I have an opportunity that's in front of me, and I'm not limited by these other things that I'm using as excuses. So, Ted, what are your thoughts?
Definitely, definitely agree with you. I think, it's always something out there, right? I mean, it's whatever I have this saying, everybody has a box, right? And in that box is your stuff, right? That may be stuff that you're dealing with, physically, mentally, through, your financially, like all that stuff is in your box. And you always think your box is the heaviest box out there. But if you open up your eyes, open up your ears, you'll see something, whether it's through your circle or an extended circle or on social media or television, or you'll just go by and you'll see someone and man, look at that person's really dealing with some stuff, and they're making it happen. And it kind of, goes back to, that, nobody's really concerned about your complaints and your situation. So I say, people say, hey, now, how you doing? No need to complain. Nobody wants to hear it anyway. That's true.
Absolutely.
Right. People may just listen to it for a minute, but they're trying to carry their own box and deal with their own box. Right. Trying to make their own money, trying to grow their own business, trying to move up professionally within an organization, trying to take care of their family, whatever it is in their box, right? People are dealing with that. So what we need to do is we need to manage our box, deal with our box. If these are the cards that have been dealt to you for whatever reason, because there's things out there that you can control and some things that you can't control, but you got to get over it. You got to get over it because you got to move forward. You got to make it happen with the cards that were dealt to you. You may not get a different hand. That's what it is, right? Look, man, I should have been a star, Eric, on the high school basketball team. But better yet, I should have made it. The reason I didn't make it, Eric, because I wasn't 6 foot. That's what I believe. If I, it's nothing. I could do the best I could do to get out there, whatever. I thought I was good on the playground, but I got out there, I couldn't do it. Nothing I could do about my height. You just go out there and go with what you have. So again, whatever's in your box, you have to manage that box and deal with it and, treat it like, the glass is half full versus half empty. And we talk about mindset all the time, right? You can't take a shot and be thinking I'm going to miss it when I shoot it, right? Because you're most likely going to miss it if you think you're going to miss it. So let's start planning to make our shots. Let's, do the best we can with the box that we have and go into. Thank God it's Monday with a whole new attitude that, hey, I can in managing what I have in front of me, and I'm planning for.
Now, those are great comments, Ted. And I think it helps. It helps to get yourself into a group of people who have the result that you already have. That are maybe a little more advanced in you. If you're trying to run, if you run a 4.6 in the 40, and you want to get faster, get into a group of people that run a 4.3.
Yeah.
And eventually you'll start to catch up, and you'll hear their stories are different. If you're in a group and they're doing better than you and they have the result that you want. So as soon as you say, well, yeah, I lost that major, they're going to say, that happened to me 3 times. And here's what I did.
That's right.
It'll shift. So really, that's the key takeaway. We got to cancel the pity party. And once you do, you're starting to think better, and you can really go into Monday feeling that appreciation. And speaking of appreciating Monday, and thank God it's Monday, you have to join us later today at 6 p.m. Eastern. We're going to talk about the hidden secrets to growing a 7-figure business. Jim Tannehill is our guest for today, and he's got this framework where he's literally helped people go from 0 to 7 figures in a short period of time.
Wow.
And it really ties into what we're talking about today, because it's all these limitations. I can't do this, and X percentage of businesses fail, and blah. But he's got a framework and a formula that's going to show you that that's possible. So definitely make sure you tune in this evening, 6 p.m. Eastern, on the 30-Minute Hour podcast. Ted, is there a special announcement that we need to tell people?
Man, tell them about the special announcement.
Absolutely. We have just exceeded 500,000 total downloads on the 30-Minute Hour podcast.
Wow. Look at
I wanted to take this time to thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing the show. We couldn't accomplish this without you. We're definitely psyched up about it. And I have a feeling, Ted, is going to come up again on our 6 p.m. episode.
And I'm telling you, but let me tell you one thing that's really interesting about that. I'm glad you brought that up. Is, if we think about when we first started this podcast back in 2019, right? We didn't know anything about podcasting, just jumped into this game, right? And just kept doing it like every week. And again, most of our guests were people we knew, right? Most of our guests were people that we knew that we had coming on now. For COVID, we probably would have ran out of people we knew by now, right? We probably would have ran out of, right? And COVID was a terrible thing, but when you think about it, when it comes to like the podcast, it put us in a situation where, man, we had to do some different things. We had to pivot in order to continue with the podcast, and those things that we did and research and, connecting to different, kind of networks I mean, that made it to a point where we had guests coming to us. We probably would have still been going with the version of calling up people that we knew, and they'd be like, "Look, man, look, Ted, we'd have been on your show 12 times. I can't come. I got something to do. I got something to do. Can't make it.
So all
Kids,
our guests when we started,
soccer
game. They went to Hampton University, went to Norfolk State. They
Yeah,
were
the story was the same.
They were at Q, but now there's people around the world.
Around the world.
All walks of life.
Yeah. And so that was, I think went back to the fact that, we knew we wanted to continue to grow this and provide, good content out there to help people. And, and then it worked. And again, as Eric said, we thank each of you for, following us and sharing and all of that. So yeah, it's great.
Absolutely. So again, we appreciate your support. Make sure again you tune in this evening at 6 p.m. to the 30-minute hour podcast. And until then, have a great one, and thank God it's Monday.
God, it's Monday.